Well, bear with me, Jenna, because it's a complicated answer. All right. And Draymond is right when he says anybody really watching the game thinks that's ridiculous, that he has to validate himself with the finals MVP. He is a 3, possibly 4-time champion, right? Maybe soon to be 4-time champion. And he was the face of the greatest dynasty, or is the face of the greatest dynasty since the Shaq Kobe Lakers. That's indisputable. All right. He is regarded widely as the greatest shooter of all time and clearly changed the way the game of basketball is played. You can take none of that away from him, whether he has a finals MVP or not. And let me put this to bed once and for all. The notion, the myth, the lie that Steph Curry does not show up in the finals, that he doesn't play well in the finals, is absolute nonsense. It is pure poppycock. All right? Check out these numbers. Steph Curry averages 26.5 points a game in the finals. Okay? That's more than Dr. J, Kobe Bryant, Dirk, Dwayne Wade, Moses Malone, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas. All of those guys are absolute legends, and yet none of them scored as much as Steph Curry has in the finals. The fact that he didn't get the finals MVP in 2015 is an absolute travesty. He averaged 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists and 5 rebounds. In game 5, we know how pivotal it is when a series is tied 2-2. The winner of game 5 wins the series 82% of the time. Steph dropped 37 points, 7 3-pointers in the pivotal game 5. In the closeout game 6, 25 points and 8 assists. And he doesn't win finals MVP. So that's why Draymond is right, Nick, but I got to throw this out there. Because you know how it is, you and I both make historical comparisons between players. And you do nitpick. And something that seems small, I don't think it's a huge deal, but finals MVP does become a factor. Oh, so-and-so has 3 of them. He only has 1. And so that's where it's important. And then finally, the public perception. Perception often becomes reality, Nick. And the perception is that he really needs it. Like everybody thinks he really needs this finals MVP. That can become reality. So I do think he needs to win it to just get people off his back.
Okay, first of all, I saw those odds. America, if you're going to bet the Warriors to win the finals, they're minus 160. Just bet Steph to win finals MVP. There is no scenario that exists in the world where the Warriors win the finals and Steph's not finals MVP. So you can basically get the Warriors at even money. Some little gambling advice from your buddy Nick Wright. Broussard, as he often is right and he's wrong on this. So he's right that Steph's legacy is cemented. Bro. I think he's a little wrong and embellishing a bit about Steph's finals performances. Steph has been to 5 finals. He has only been bad in 1 of them. In 2016, he was bad. He was 23 points per game on 40% shooting off a year where he's averaged 30 a game on 50% shooting, was the unanimous MVP. Okay? That year he was bad. Every other year he's been good-ish. He's had some bad moments and some good moments, but there isn't a single finals where you're like, wow, Steph really elevated his game. His points per game in the finals, each of the other 4 years have gone up, and his efficiency has gone down. His points per game are slightly higher than his regular season averages, and his efficiency slightly lower than his regular season averages. What hurts Steph is that if you are thinking of what are the best Steph Curry playoff moments, there's only one truly great finals game. That's a game they lost. It was game 3 against Toronto in 2019, the old triangle in 2 game, when he scored 47 points, but they were trailing by double digits throughout. He doesn't have another 40-point finals game. The next best one is the one Brew mentioned. Game 5 in 2015 after Matthew Dellavedova needed IVs from running around and chasing him. And the other thing that hurts Steph and Wildes is this. When we're talking about pantheon guys, the 15 greatest or even the 20 greatest players in league history, every single one of them that played post-finals MVP existing has won, except for Dr. J. And it's a little unfair to Dr. J because he won the ABA equivalent 2 times. He didn't spend his whole career in the NBA. Right, exactly. So I'm going to give Dr. J credit there. So that's where it hurts him. So listen, I think Steph is the 10th greatest player of the last 50 years. The guy who's 9th on my own list is Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq, what are Shaq's dominant finals games? You got an hour? Was it the year he averaged 38 and 17? The year he averaged 33 and 16? The year he averaged 36 and 12? He did that in 3 straight years, winning unanimously finals MVP all 3 years. So that is the margins. So does he need it to validate his legacy? No. Would his resume look awful odd if he has 4 rings and 0 finals MVPs? Yeah, it would.
That's right.
And I don't think I agree with Brew that he should have gotten it over Iguodala. I think he should have come in second to LeBron, but set that aside. The Iguodala thing was a travesty in and of itself. But it is odd, and it's not picking on Steph to point out that it's odd.
I think you're right. It's not an Achilles heel on his legacy, but it is a mismatched sock. Like, it's not killing you, but it does look a little bit funny. And earlier in the meeting, Broussard took a shot at Finals MVP as a whole. So, I don't really buy it.
Yeah,
so I want to fire back at Broussard. I'm going back. It's 5:30 a.m. But here's the thing, Broussard. This is why I think Steph needs it when we talk about narratives. And you mentioned Shaq. Shaq won 3, and then Kobe won his 2, and that's the stories of the Lakers kind of dynasty. It was Shaq's, and then Kobe wanted to take over, and he did. So you can tell the whole story of the Lakers about who won Finals MVP. So, Broussard, I would argue you can tell the whole story of 90s basketball with just talking about the Finals MVPs, which is this. Isaiah, Jordan 3 times in a row, Akeem twice, Jordan 3 times in a row, Duncan and Shaq. And that's it. That's from 1990 to 2000. You can explain all of basketball. Don't you think it's weird that we wouldn't be able to do the same or we could, when we look at Finals MVPs recently, Steph's name doesn't come up. And you can't tell the story of basketball without Steph, but at the same time, he's not on this list.
Well, the reason I say, first of all, I had just woken up at 5:30 this morning. Wow.
Right.
Just playing. But look, I stand by that take.
Are you
that
though?
finals, I believe when you get to the finals, you just want to win. I don't care if I'm Steph and Klay Thompson lights it up and we win, I'm not tripping and he gets the MVP. I got my 4th ring. Isaiah Thomas, you mentioned him, battled with Larry Bird, was losing to Bird, was beating Jordan, finally gets over the hump and wins his first championship in 1989. And guess who was the Finals MVP? Joe Dumars. Not only another player, another guard. Do you think Isaiah cared? No. It was a championship he had been seeking. And here's the thing. Kareem has 6. I know Isaiah won it the next year. Kareem has 6 finals championships. He's got 2 finals MVPs. He won it way back with the Bucks in, I think, 71. And then his first 2 championships with the
85.
Lakers, Magic Johnson won it. A youngster.
Yep.
You think Kareem cared? No.
Well,
and so that's my point. I get it. It means something. I'm not saying it's irrelevant. I'm just saying, man, you go through a full season. You go through 3 rounds of the playoffs, and even back in the day when it wasn't as many rounds, and you get to that championship, man, you just want to win it all.
Listen,
I don't think you care
Yeah, but
as
once
much
you have
who
a bunch
gets
of
the Finals
championships, you might want the other stuff. But I can't speak for the captain, but I bet Kareem was a little salty he didn't win it in 1980. It's kind of a travesty he didn't win in 1980.
Well,
but
you
he
were
missed
watching
the
Winning
final
Time.
game of the
I get it.
series and Magic. No, I haven't seen a single episode of Winning Time, actually. I'm boycotting that show. It's a separate take for a separate day. But neither here nor there, out of respect to the logo. Come on, be nice to Jerry West. But in 1980, Kareem probably should have won it. Magic at the amazing Game 6. But I just want to add one little thing when we talk about Finals MVP.
But that's to your
unintended
point,
consequences.
Quickly.
Yeah,
you said, and I think you overestimated a few, but you said there's 7 times the wrong guy got the Finals MVP. I don't know if it's 7, but there's several for sure.
No, there's at least 7. There's 7 times the losing player should have got it. 6 times the wrong winner got it. But neither here nor there. Jenna, the final point that I want to make is this. This is the first time we've ever had a Finals after we gave a conference Finals MVP. And I wonder if there's going to be an unintended consequence of that. And I don't know how much it would affect the Warriors in this, but a lot of people are like, hey, Jaylen Brown could have been conference Finals MVP. What if the Celtics win and Brown and Tatum are close statistically? Do you think some of the voters will be like, well, we gave Tatum conference Finals MVP, Jaylen Brown, so I do think there's going to be some of that moving forward that we've got to look out for.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.